Okay. Okay. So today I'm answering the question, why Spain? Tori, why did you choose Spain? Why did you move to Spain? Why did you go to Spain, Tori? Why did you pick Spain? People have been asking me this question, so here I am answering it right now. All right, so I'm going to break this down through talking about each year of my college experience and where the seed was planted each year to do this, what I'm doing now. Freshman year, I went to I went to a college fair, and at that college fair, they had a table for Peace Corps. And I had never heard of Peace Corps before, but Peace Corps is a humanitarian organization where Americans go abroad to different countries that um, can use help essentially, and they allow them to help. They provide the opportunity to help in like 9 different categories. So in the health field, or education, or if you have economic savvy, or working with the youth, and so on. 9 of those. And I was like, that sounds cool. And they provide housing, they give you a stipend for food, and it's free because they want you to go. And all you have to have is a bachelor's degree. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in college. And when I finish, that's what I'm going to be doing. And the seed that was planted there was, I want to travel abroad when I finish college. I want to get exposure to other ways of thinking outside of my American bubble, which inside of it, you get different perspectives too. But outside of it, it's just, more varied. And I wanted to get that after I graduated. So I was like, that's what I'm doing after I graduate. Sophomore year, sophomore year, I got connected to a missionary group, and with this missionary group, the year after that sophomore year, I decided to go on a year-long mission trip with them, and in that mission trip, we went to different states along the East Coast, and on that mission trip, I would canvas, like going door to door, talking to people, fundraising for the missionary trips that we were going on. And in that time in Florida, I realized Spanish is pretty prominent in America. Like I feel like I knew that, I had some exposure to that, but it became real to me when I'm like speaking or trying to speak to people, like holding my little brochure. So if you look here, like trying to communicate, and the lack of connection really hurt my heart. I was like, I want to be able to connect with people, and these are like next door neighbors, basically. Like they're in our country. It's not like, it's abroad. So I was like, I can't have this not being able to connect with people I lived in the same country with. I need to be able to talk to them. I want to know Spanish, and that was the second seed that was planted, or the third seed. So the first seed was, I want to travel abroad after I graduate. Freshman year. Sophomore year, this is sophomore year, I was like, this is the second seed then. I want to learn Spanish. So then the third year, junior year, I wanted to do an internship abroad. So I was trying to, get something abroad while I was still in school. And I found this program called CIEE, which is the program I came to Spain with. And it was a study abroad for a summer in India. And I was like, oh, cool. Really want to do it. It was kind of expensive. I was like, I just let it go. I was like, okay, never mind. But I remembered CIEE. So then senior year, when I'm like, okay, great, I'm making the plan for what's happening after college, I was processing everything. I went through the academia. I was like, I can go get my master's. And these are all the programs I can do. And these are all the colleges or universities I can go to get the master's program. I was like, I always said I wanted to travel abroad afterward. These are all the programs I could do that. And CIEE and Peace Corps were one of them. CIEE is a little bit is expensive, and then Peace Corps is free. So I was like, okay, cool. Peace Corps requires kind of more time for you. It's a 2.5 year program, which I wanted that like deep experience anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm going with Peace Corps. So I applied in December, didn't get in, and then I applied again. I applied December of my senior year, And then I applied again the summer after I graduated. So I graduated in May of 2019. And then August I got in. I was like, yay. So I was doing the steps to get there. March, I finished the steps. I was like, oh, March of 2020, I finished the steps. I'm like, woo, done. COVID was like, block. So I was like, wow. Wow. That's how I felt. Like, I've been talking fast kind of through this video, and that's how I felt like going through college. I was like hustling, hustling, hustling. And then COVID, I was just like, wow. What am I gonna do now? So at first I was just kind of like chilling because like the job that I had, oh, that was the fourth seat. The job that I had after graduating was substitute teaching. So I was substitute teaching and I was working in an after school program. So I realized I kind of like teaching. It's kind of cool. And I was like, okay. But what am I like? What is my long term plan gonna be? So I was like, just lost. And so 2020 was just a contemplation year. It was just like, okay. And I found a way to work. I worked in another elementary school, but it was like I was like in house. It's still kind of substituting, but I was like an in house tutor. So I knew I wanted to travel abroad from freshman year and get that exposure. I knew I wanted to learn Spanish. Like that was in the back of my mind. But when I started to do Peace Corps, when I started on that track, I needed to learn French because I was going to Cameroon. So that's what I was doing. But for the sake of the video, I knew I wanted to travel abroad. I knew I wanted to learn Spanish. I had heard about CIEE, and then senior year, I found out when I was looking again at Peace Corps and other programs to travel abroad, I found that you could do CIE after you graduate, which is something I didn't know. I thought it was just like a study abroad in school, but I found out you could teach English abroad, and that was one way you could do it. But I didn't think I really wanted to do that until I started substitute teaching after I graduated. So the year after graduated, I was substitute teaching, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I mean, I like youth; they're funny. I think I'm pretty good at teaching. So yeah, so all of that culminated in my mind as I'm contemplating 2020, what am I going to do? And then 2021, like March, I think it was March. It was either late February or March. I was like, I'm leaving the country. I said that's what I wanted to do. I'm leaving the country. I was sitting, it was like probably 12 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock. I feel like it was 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, 11:30. And I'm like, I gotta do something. I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to do something. Like, just like that, basically. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with CIE. I like how efficient their website was. It's expensive, but at least I know what I'm working with. I know how much it's going to cost. I know how long it's going to be. I know what I need to do to get there. I can just make a plan and go with it. So that's what I did. I took this like huge, had those big sticky notes from Office Depot, got some markers, wrote CIEE, and I just stuck it on my wall. I said, it's going to be 1 to 2 years. This is how much it's going to cost. Bet. And it stayed on I think it's still up on my wall. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. But I didn't, so I knew I was doing CIE. So then I was like, okay, I went to their website and I knew I wanted to learn Spanish because at this point I was learning French because I was going to Cameroon, not going to Cameroon anymore. So we went back to my original plan. I want to know Spanish. So I'm like, okay, what Spanish speaking countries do they have? They had Spain. I said, I'm going to Spain. So that's what I wrote on the sticky note. And I was like, well, that's what I'm doing. And it kind of was like, I'm telling you guys, like it was it was so helpful for me because I felt like such an indecisive person because I have all these different talents that I can go and can do and all these different interests. And I was like, well, can I just stick to something and go through it? And I guess I could have, like, I stuck with Peace Corps, but since I didn't follow through with that, not because of my own, desire, but because I didn't follow through with that, I still didn't feel like I had that stick to itness that I needed. So, like, sitting here now, like, thinking about this, it's September. It'll be October in a month. I mean, a couple days. But that was March. That was this year. It was this year that I made this decision and put the sticky note on here, and I'm in Spain. Like, that's crazy. it's crazy. And I'm learning Spanish. And so, like, it's 2 years after I graduated, which my original plan was to leave right after I graduated, but it's 2 years after I graduated. I'm here though, and I'm learning Spanish, and I'm gonna be teaching starting next week, teaching English. So that's how I got here, guys. Like, mentally, that's how I got to wanting to be here in Spain. And yeah, man, I'm wild right now. I'm like, wow. When you really kind of put your mind to it, it happens. And it doesn't, happen by yourself. It's not like I did it by myself. I had my thank you video for all the people who helped. And there were other people who helped me out there, like Portia and Beta. They supported me. There are other family members that have supported me that I didn't include in the last video that I'm trying to think of everybody. And now that I'm thinking about it, leaving my mind, but I didn't get here by myself. But I do want to say, if you have a goal and you're in that moment of like, something has to happen, like something different needs to take place, grab that thought that kind of came to your mind when I just said that. Grab that thought and write it on paper, stick it on your wall, and like start asking yourself how can that happen, and go for it and ask for help and pray if that's what you do. If you don't, do it how you do it. But I enjoy prayer. So that's what I have to say to you guys. That's why I went to Spain. That's why I'm here. And I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, morning.